Good evening, everyone. First off, I'd like to thank the Morris County Board of County Commissioners for inviting me to speak today. My name is Rebecca Asaro, and I am a New York City firefighter, as are three of my brothers, Carl Jr., Matthew, and Mark. We all proudly followed in my father's footsteps, which led us to the greatest job in the world, filled with the greatest people as well. I want to thank John Fila and all the members of the Pride of Midtown 54 and 4, Battalion 9, for not only this opportunity to speak today, but also for influencing me and my everyday life. I started my FDNY career about 2 years ago, but have long had a family in this firehouse since I was a little girl. My father, Carl Asaro, began his journey with the fire department in 1987 and was a member of 54 and 4 his entire 14-year career. On the day he died, he was working in the 3rd Division as aide to Chief Galvin. I can't believe it's been 30 years without him, and since my world has changed forever. Time since had slowed down and sped up throughout different moments in my life. Every September 11th, I look back and reflect what my life could have been like. I wonder what my father would say about my brothers and myself becoming firefighters, sharing in some of his experiences. I think about how my dad would have turned 60 years old this October, and how he would have been married to my mom, Heloiza, for 32 years. I think about what a wonderful grandfather he would have been to his grandchildren, Isabella, Haley, and Philip Jr. There isn't one day where his presence is not missed. Birthdays, holidays, football games, and graduations, just to name a few events, have felt hollow in my father's absence. My father was an absolute character. He's always humming a song, mostly something by the Grateful Dead, and had such energetic and positive demeanor that was intoxicating to anyone in his presence. He had a smile that would light up an entire room, and a generous heart, always willing to give a stranger a helping hand. Anytime anyone that knew him tells a story, it consists of him making others laugh or just doing something to lift someone's spirit. One of my favorite memories of my dad involves his love and passion for music. He was talented, playing the guitar, saxophone, piano, and clarinet. After dinner, on many occasions, he would rehearse Grateful Dead songs with my brothers and I for hours. Some children had bedtime stories and lullabies, but the Asaro kids had Grateful Dead concerts. Every month, my father would bring a dozen roses home for my mother and I, saying we were his girls and I was his little miss. After working a long 24, he would come home and throw the football around with my brothers and the neighborhood kids. My father has been described as a big kid himself, and always was looking to have fun in everything he did. I'm pretty sure that's why him and my mother had so many kids, 6 to be exact. I was 9 years old during the events of September 11, 2001. My oldest brother, Chago, was 20. The twins, Carl Jr. and Philip, were 13. Matthew was 11. Mark was 7. I remember it like it was yesterday. Waking up to my father placing wintergreen Tic Tacs on my nightstand. He gave me a kiss goodbye and left from our Orange County, New York home to his Manhattan Firehouse. Although the school day started out as it normally would, things started to shift in a way it would change my life forever. While I was in social studies class, children one by one began to be picked up by their parents with basically no explanation as to why. Soon thereafter, my mother arrived at school with my brothers to take me home. The ride home from school was one I'd not soon forget, as my worried mother told us, listen to the radio, as the news of the World Trade Center being attacked was broadcasted on what seemed like every station. Upon arriving home, we turned the television on, and the images of destruction we heard on the ride home were forever scorched in my memory. I didn't fully understand its impact at the time, seeing kids burning the American flag, along with the Twin Towers collapsing. I vaguely remembered my mom pacing back and forth in the living room frantically, trying to contact my father. We tried his firehouse and pager to no avail. The next morning before school, we received a phone call from the fire department stating that no one had seen or heard from my father, and he was among the missing. Days quickly turned into weeks, awaiting any news, and yet there was still no word. I used to wait by the window for my father to come home. Instead, one day, a chief from the FDNY arrived to our house to explain to my mother that my dad was separated from him and he wished he had more information for us. During this time, early on, I just didn't know how to process what we were all feeling. In school, we were assigned to write an essay on 9/11 and the first responders who passed away. I wrote about the men and women who sacrificed their lives that day, not knowing that my father was among them. Time passed, and before I knew it, we were having a wake and a funeral for my father. It was October 27th, 2001, 3 days after my 10th birthday, that my mother would decide to have the service. I often give tours of the firehouse to visitors and proudly mention the stories of the men who served their city so bravely. I love walking to work and seeing my father's picture to my left as I enter the apparatus floor. It will forever be a reminder that his blood courses through me and that I can accomplish anything with dedication and heart. I am so thankful for the members at the firehouse, my godfather, my brothers, and my mom. They all helped me shape into who I am today. I am so proud not only to be a firefighter, but also a firefighting Asaro. If there's one thing to take away from my speech today, it would be to remember. Remember Michael Brennan, Samuel Otis, Joseph Angelini, Michael Hobb, Christopher Santora, Alan Feinberg, Leonard Regaglia, David Woolley, Jose Guadalupe, Michael Lynch, John Tipping, Paul Gill, Danielle O'Callaghan, Edward Garrity, and Carl Asaro. Remember these men. Never miss a performance. Remember those who were lost and their valiant acts in their final moments on earth. Relive the moments that you hold dear and that made them unique individuals they are and always will be. Last but not least, recite their stories for others to know what it's like to truly live without fear. In remembering who they were and how they spent their time here, it will ensure that we will never forget the legacy and that they have forged into history. I am so proud to be working in the same firehouse that my father once worked and whose legacy is forever immortalized. They lost 15 members that day, the most of any firehouse in the city. It is said that you only truly die when your name is mentioned for the last time. If that is held to be true, then my father's legacy, among with all other heroes who sacrificed their lives that day, will live on forever. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.